The symbol you're seeing on the screen is of the Sankofa bird. And Sankofa is a word that comes from Ghana, West Africa, from the Twi language. And Sankofa means go back and take what is at risk of being left behind. A lot of times there are people not interested in Black history because they're ashamed of the enslavement in the past. Because enslaved people were made to look like buffoons, made to look like these docile people that were just skinning and grinning and going along. And some, even when they were skinning and grinning, that was a form of resistance. So, a part of getting ourselves together and getting to a place of thriving is to find value in the past and going back there. So, I am reading a couple of escape stories, and these stories are about people who escaped from enslavement in New York, upstate New York. And they come from a book called In Defiance that gathered these post in the New York Gazette. So starting in 1735, we have William Smith of Albany County. And he ran away from someone Schenectady. William Smith is 17 years old and he's described as well set. His complexion was like a Madagascar black person. I can imagine how beautiful and chocolate. And he spoke English and high and low Dutch. The reward was £5. When you hear pounds, that's a lot of money in that time. Why they wanted to pay £5 for him? Because William Smith was a blacksmith and they were profiting from his labor. Now we have Jack of Dutchess County, and Jack ran away in 1735 as well from someone called Rhinebeck. And Jack was 30 and copper-colored with strong body and thin face, short beard with long hair. Jack spoke and read English, and he was often at sea. When Jack ran away, Jack took 40 articles of clothing, which is quite a lot back then, because Jack planned to go back to sea. They offered 40 shillings for Jack's return. Hector, in 1745, is of Westchester County, and he changed his name to James Weldon so as not to be found. Hector is 30 years old. He's a mixed person. He's healthy and tall with some kind of impediment in one eye. In 1746, we see Pompee, and he's running away from Ulster County, and he ran away from Tenbrook, a man called Tamer. He was 25 years old, Pompey, 6 feet tall, well set. He spoke good English and adequate Dutch. The reward for his return was 30 shillings. Sippeo ran away from Orange County in 1747 from a man called de Klerk. Sippeo was 30 years old. He's medium built. He spoke good and proper English, they said, with a coarse voice. This fascination with who spoke good and proper English is strange because they spoke good and proper English because of who their masters were and how recently or how long ago they came from Africa, because they had to be learning a second language without going to school. In 1748, we see Hamstead of Westchester County, and he ran away from a doctor. Dr. Stan, can you imagine a doctor keeping enslaved people? Very sad. And Hamstead was short with a full face, and he had some smallpox mark. Next we have Pete of Ulster County. He ran away in 1748 from Francis Brett, and Pete is described as a mulatto slave, 20 years old, 6 feet tall, very light with black and very light for a black man with kinky hair. They offered 40 shillings for his return. We have Jack, and Jack he's born in Orange County and he runs away in 1748. Jack is described as 5 feet tall, very dark skinned, speaks good English. No reward is mentioned for his return. 2 unnamed teenagers, they ran away from Westchester County from a man called Allaire. And one of the teenagers were 18 and one was 16 years old. Then we have Hannibal of Albany County, and he runs away in 1748 from Adam Van Allen. And Hannibal is 25 years old. They describe him as built, 5 feet 6 inches with dark brown complexion and pox. They offered £3 rewards for him, so you know he was valuable. Then you have what seems like a family of people or close friends running away in 1748. 2 boys and 3 girls. You have Belle, Janneau is the boy, Tamer, Dinah, Isabel, and Louis. And they offer £5 for these people, so they were worth a lot to them. Next, we have Simon of Albany County, and he ran away in 1748 from Lucas Wingard. And Lucas is a merchant, and they describe Simon as medium height, slender, handsome, thick legs, spoke very good English, and they offered £3 for him. And we have next Hector, formerly of Dutchess County, and he ran away from Cornelia Rutgers. Notice the name. Rutgers will become wealthy people with colleges named after them, of Cornelia Rutgers of New York. And they describe Hector as well-built, full lips, previously owned. Yes, Hector's knocking around from place to place, perhaps ran away to get back to the people he loved that he left behind. Then we have Harry of Dutchess County, running away in 1751 from Philip Smith of Fishgills. Harry's 20 years old, short, well-built, with very dark skin. They offer 30 shillings. My favorite is coming up, Phillis or Phillidia of Orange County. And this is a 19-year-old. She ran away from Robert Campbell, and she's described as mulatto complexion and she's well set. She was owned by 2 previous persons. Again, you'll hear Peter Rutgers, Philip Visme, and she had many articles of clothing when she ran away. She had a false pass as well, that the pass to say she was free to move around. And sometimes she went around saying she was free. Other times she said she was looking for one of her many masters, but they thought her real intent was to find a ship to escape. Good girl. 30 shillings. Then we have Tom of Dutchess County. He ran away in 1756 from Joseph Harris. And Tom is described as a mulatto male with freckles, 5 feet 8 inches, with thick legs, well set. He spoke good English and Dutch. He plays the fiddle very well, and he can read, write, and cipher. He enlisted himself in the Boston Armed Forces. And Tom, they really wanted him to come back. They offered £10. So there are people who made their livelihood catching enslaved people and bringing them back. So when people talk about, oh, we didn't benefit from enslavement, so many benefited in so many different ways. We have Joe of Westchester County, and Joe ran away twice in 1756 and 1757 from Caleb Ferris. I guess Caleb didn't get the point that Joe wanted to be free. Joe is of yellow complexion. He's both mixed with indigenous and black blood. They describe him as being well set in every way. He looks more like an Indian than a black person. He speaks very good English, very energetic. He's about 5 feet 10 inches. He understands all kinds of plantation work, excellent at making stonewall. He started running after the death of Martha Clark, his first owner, and he was all over the place. Yes, because it's his native land, he was all over the place. And he tells people he is free and he might also have a pass. Then we have Henry Sniffen, and he runs away with Cuffy from Orange County in Orange County in 1757. So you know Cuffy is a West African name, or you should know. So Henry was brown, with brown hair and thin face, and he stutters, but he goes around well dressed. So you see, Henry's a mixed man. Cuffy is fresh from Africa, and he does not speak English well, obviously. They offered £4 for those 2 young men. Then we have unnamed male of Albany County running away 1758 from Edmund Matthews. This unnamed male is 20 years old, smooth face, very thick, built, well built. He was wearing a bearskin coat, blue and white Holland shirt, gray pair of stockings, and he wanted to go sailing with the privateers. So I just included that picture of him because I imagine how gorgeous this young man looked dressed like that. So yes, here it is, debunking the myths that we have about enslaved people, that they liked slavery, that they were just skinning and grinning and carrying on. No, that they were unintelligent. No, you do not enslave people if you think they're weak, if you think they're inferior. You enslave them because of their strength, because of their potential, and because of their abilities. So we need to go back and take what is at risk of being left behind. And these are the stories of defiance, of resilience, of people that we can be very proud of descending from.